It was a very well taught class. And I have to say, going through the course and then through the prep, I felt like I was adequately prepared. But ultimately, what it comes down to is putting in the time.
All right. We have Clifford in the house today. And today we're going to talk to you and just have an idea of what was your experience going through Yellowtail, most precisely the Linux for Jobs program. And tell us, first of all, how did you get into the industry? Why did you want to even get into IT to start with?
Okay. Well, yes. As Judy mentioned, my name is Clifford Gossin. And first off, well, before I even started with Yellowtail in IT, I was working for an access control company by the name of Data Watch. So I was already working with computers, just monitoring commercial buildings, some residential. And a friend of mine, Alan, was actually one of the instructors. He had pitched to me, the advantages and really the opportunity I could have in the IT field. And I didn't necessarily see myself as an IT specialist or even a Linux admin, but I felt like if I had the ability and the capacity to, learn how to do an access control job, I could probably do IT as well. And that's kind of how we pitched it. So therefore, understanding what I can get in terms of monetary gain as well as just like upward mobility, I said, why not give it a shot? So we did that. Started at Yellowtail. He was my instructor, Alan. And I got to say, I never seen him in that capacity, but I was very impressed, being that it was professional. The class is kind of concise, but it was taught in a way that was consumable. So it was a very well taught class. And I have to say, going through the course and then through the prep, I felt like I was adequately prepared. But ultimately, what it comes down to is putting in the time, because I understand that early on I was, picking up things fairly quickly. But then as things kind of went throughout the course, I kind of, was slack here and there, and that would actually show when it came to having to perform in the class. So you have to put in the time, you have to set some time aside in order to actually pick up, all the objectives and to continue to progress in the manner in which you should. So I would definitely suggest, going this route because now I work at NIH and I have to say I'm enjoying it. I love what I do, and I've been assisting people, but in this capacity, I have to say, especially during this time, it's definitely giving me benefits I've never gotten before. So it's been a great journey, I gotta say.
Yeah. And let's dig in a little bit about what it really takes. You touched on it a little bit, but
Mhm.
what does it take to actually do this? Because I don't want anybody to have the idea that this is easy. You have to put into work. Can you talk about this a little more?
Definitely, I would say in terms of time, and I'm glad you brought this question up because I would say 2 hours a day would be minimum in terms of actually going over the objectives I was touched on early in that day and really throughout the week. That will allow you to, work on things that you didn't pick up on class. And ultimately, you need to have that time set every day, if not every other day. I would say on average, I'd just say 12 hours a week. I
Yes.
think that would be the beginning, that'd be minimum in terms of being able to digest fully what's been going on because it is very, compressed in terms of all the knowledge that's being given to you on a weekly basis. And really,
Yes.
if you want to get through this course the way they planned it out, you want to stay on top of it because it starts to build up fairly quickly. As I said, like early on, I was fine. And then when I wasn't putting the same amount of time, it started to catch up with me. So you
Yes.
really have to put that time aside on a daily basis, if not every other day, depending on how your life is set up.
Yes, definitely. You know, the whole idea of these videos is to give people different perspective of people who came in. You came in not necessarily with an IT background. You were working around computers, but not necessarily in IT. And you came
Right.
and you made it happen. And
Yep.
one thing I'm sure I never sold to you is that this is easy. I always say it's doable. If you commit to it, you can make it happen. But
Yep.
it's not easy, but it's definitely rewarding. And I'm glad now you're working at NIH, you're enjoying what you do. Thank you for showing up and letting other people know what you do, man.
I appreciate the time, Julie. Appreciate the definitely opportunity, and I wish you guys the best luck.
Thank you, man. All
No
right, man.
problem.
Have a good day.
Take it easy.